Students, in the past video we have seen Toru Dutt's Our Casuarina Tree, and this is the last before stanza, and we have the another stanza also. Okay. So, right from the past we have seen what the connection between the Casuarina Tree and the poet Toru Dutt has. Okay. She is telling that the presence of the tree, though she is in foreign land like France or Italy, she is able to feel the presence of the Casuarina tree, though she is in the foreign lands like European. She, right from the beginning itself, I told you she is in the European countries, okay, like France, Italy, okay. But though she is an Indian born, she is able to feel the presence of the Casuarina tree, and she is pouring out her emotions, the presence of the tree in this paragraph, in this stanza. Okay. Unknown means what? The tree is not known to anybody, but it is familiar for the poet Toru Dutt. Okay. It is familiar for the poet, unknown for others, but known, yet well known to the eye of faith. She is having that faith. She is having the faith and hope that the tree is always with her. She is having a great love towards the tree. I have heard that wail far, far away. Wail means what? Cry. Wail means what? Cry. The lament of the tree. The tree is lamenting for the poet's presence. It is longing for the poet's presence. It is longing for Toru Dutt. Okay, she is able to listen the lament, the cry of the tree. Okay, though she is in foreign lands. That is what throughout the stanza we are going to see. Okay, in distant lands, okay, distance, far off lands, foreign lands, in distant land, by many a sheltered bay, though she is in a protected place, okay, she is able to feel the presence of the tree. By many a sheltered bay, when slumbered in his cave, somewhere near the seashore, she is there. Okay, when slumbered, okay, though she is in sleep in a cave near the seashore or somewhere, she is able to see, she is able to feel, okay, she is able to connect the Casuarina tree. Slumbered means sleep, wail means cry. Okay, slumbered in his cave, the water wraith from the seashore, the water comes and dashes along the beach, no. So it looks like a ghost like appearance. That is what we say, from the water wraith. Okay, and the waves gently kissed the classic shore. So we can just put it in an imagination that she is somewhere along the seashore, okay, and she is able to feel the presence of the Casuarina tree. Okay, do you understand? It's lament, it's longing, okay, it's yearning for the poet's presence. Though she is in far off lands of France or Italy, beneath the moon. So we can see from this line, it is happening. It is happening in the evening time, beneath the moon, in the night time. When earth lay tranced, when the earth itself is quiet, when the world is full of quietness, tranquility, when there is peace, when there is harmony, okay, she is able to feel the beautiful appearance and love for the tree. When the earth lay tranced, trance means what? A dreamy state. Dreamy state means what? The whole earth is sleeping. Okay, she is able to feel the presence of the tree. When the earth lay tranced in a dreamless swoon, okay, she is excited to see the beloved tree. And every time the music rose before mine inner version, she is having a creation, a form in her mind, okay, in her vision. In her mind itself, there is an imagination of the tree, her inner vision. Okay, mine inner version rose, a form sublime, something glorious. She is glorifying the tree. She is glorifying the tree which is enormous, which is huge, and which is always adorable, beloved. Okay, because in her childhood times she had spent lots and lots of time under the tree playing along with her beloved siblings. Okay, and that is why she is saying, mine inner version rose a form. A form means what? An imagination about the tree. Sublime, glory. Sublime means what? Taking the tree into a greater level, thinking the tree as a great, enormous thing in her vision. Thy form. Thy form means what? Thy, thee and all. Thy, thee and all. Thy, thee, thou refers to you. You means the tree. Okay. Thy form, O tree. Okay, your form. Thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime. Prime means what? The happiest moments which you cherish in your life, which you remember, which you keep it as a memory always. Okay, so that is what, in my happy prime, the time when you were happy. Okay, so in my happy prime, thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee, I was able to see you in my loud native clime. In my loud native clime means what? In her native place, like France or Italy, okay, where she is staying there, she is able to see she is able to feel the presence of the tree. In my own loud native clime. So last stanza is in your PDF. Okay, check it out and see every line and understand the lines. Okay, from now for what I am teaching. Okay, as the PDF is given, you can go through the PDF textbook lines of the poem and understand each and every line from the poem which I teach. Okay, therefore I fain. I refers to the poet. Okay, what she is trying to do in this poem, in this last stanza, is that she is making the tree as a god. Okay, so that the tree should live forever. Okay, she is comparing the tree to that of William Wordsworth's Borrowdale trees. William Wordsworth in his poem, okay, he has mentioned Borrowdale trees. Borrowdale trees means the trees which does not have death, okay, immortalizing, making it holy. Holy means what? That which refers to God. God means what? Immortal. Immortal means what? That which does not have death. Okay, man is mortal. Man is mortal means what? We all have death. But immortal means that which does not have death. Okay, so what Toru Dutt is trying to do is that she is immortalizing. She is immortalizing the tree. Okay, throughout this poem, throughout this last stanza, we are going to see what she is explaining in this poem line by line. Therefore, I means the poet. Fain. Fain means what? Eagerly. She is willing to consecrate. Consecrate means what? Like anointing. Okay, making the tree holy. Okay, we all see in temple and all, they are making the gods holy. Okay, by pouring sandalwood paste like that. Therefore, I fain would consecrate a lay. Lay means what? A place. Okay, a place to respect the tree, to give the tree a holiness. Okay, I would consecrate a lay unto thy honor. Okay, she is honoring the tree. Unto thy, thee and all refers to the tree. Unto thy honor, tree, beloved of those. Beloved of those means that tree was a beloved tree for not only the poet's sisters who have passed away, those who have lived, those who played under the tree, those sisters had passed away. Okay, that is why she is writing unto thy honor, tree, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep. Blessed sleep means what? Here I have written blessed sleep means what? The siblings of the poet, okay, siblings that younger Duds, okay, Tor Duds sisters who have passed away, they are in a blessed sleep means what? Who have passed away, okay, they all have passed away, they are all dead, okay, in memory of them, okay, that the tree should live forever, it should not die. That is why we can say how interestingly and how cleverly the poet is connecting or combining the trees with that of William Wordsworth yew trees of Borrowdale. Okay, she is taking the tree along to the Borrowdale trees so that the cashew nut tree lives forever. Okay, I hope you understand. Trees, beloved of those who now in blessed sleep, for I repose. Repose means what? Sleep. Dearer than life to me. Those siblings, those childhood sisters were so dearer, okay, so lovable towards her, okay. Alas, were they? Alas means what? They have passed away, okay. They are not here, okay. Mayest thou be numbered when my days are done. Mayest means what? That particular tree, the cashew nut tree, may the tree be numbered, it should not die, okay, when my days are done. Whose days are done? Days are done means when the poet's life is over, when Torud's life is passed away, okay, may thou be numbered, remembered, even after she dies with deathless trees like those in Borrowdale. Those in Borrowdale. Borrowdale means, once again, it is William Wordsworth in his poem is comparing the trees, those of yew trees of Borrowdale, okay, which does not have death. Under whose awful branches lingered pain, okay, the tree seems to get older, she is having a fear, the tree seems to get older and it is going to die, so she is fearing, okay, but she is telling, under those whose branches linger pale. Linger means what? Which is becoming pale, which is becoming older. Fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton. So we all know when we are going to die, after we die, we will get only, our body will, there won't be any flesh at all, only skeleton will remain. So those are the words which connects death, which connects the what? One simple thing is that the death, fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton, and time, the shadow, time which is keeping on passing, okay, time, everything, for everything there is time, and time, the shadow, and though weak the verse, though her poem is quite weak, that would thy beauty fain, okay, even my poem, my lines might get older, but you would not get older, the tree will remain forever, okay, it would defend means what? It will protect from death, it will safeguard and protect itself from death, okay, that would thy beauty fain, O fain rehearse, okay, life is a circle, kind of like circle, it will repeat once again, so the tree will also remain forever and ever, okay, may love defend thee, okay, whose love? The poet's love, her siblings' love, okay, towards the tree, that love will protect and defend, it will fight, okay, it will defend the tree, okay, from what? From the oblivion's curse. Oblivion's curse means what? It refers to what? A state of forgetfulness, okay, where everyone tends to forget, everybody forgets, okay, but this tree will be remaining there, it will be living there forever and ever, okay, in her, even after her death. That's the end of the poem. So students, I hope you might have understood this poem, a cashew nut tree, very well, okay. So go through the lines of the poem. I'll catch you later in the next video. Thank you.